feel sorry. I feel sorry for the people who play on this platform and only play football. There is so much good stuff going down. Hoops guy, back. Baseball home run props, back. God, look at this glory that everyone's missing out by just playing football, man.
Like you said, dude, I feel sorry for these people. I really do.
Sorry.
You know, like you could be having fun all year round instead of tearing your hair out, waiting for the next little news bite to drop via the Underdog NFL news feed. Instead, be playing baseball and tilting your face off every day.
Yeah, or playing golf and sweating a major and tilting your ass off. There's so many ways to tilt, not just football, people.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, I gotta get this thing set up. I went laundry today. It's a fun Friday. It's a little fuck around Friday. It's a little throwback, little hardwood classics.
Oh, okay.
Is that Jonathan Isaac jersey?
It should be. It absolutely should be.
I wish it was a Jonathan Isaac jersey. Given his price tag right now, I might need a Jonathan Isaac jersey at the end of this double dribble.
I'm gonna need to look for that on eBay. Thanks for the idea, Neumy.
Oh man, actually, it'd be sick if it was a T-Mac jersey. It's your standard issue Orlando Shaq throwback, but it'd be pretty dope if it was like the T-Mac or the Penny. It wasn't that cool. Away.
Is it legit or are you a DH gate guy?
Oh come on, you think I'd be a DH gate guy?
Hey, listen, I don't judge, but
no.
Not for me.
Yeah,
not for me. No, thank you. I can point that shit out a mile away.
Dude, people think you don't know. People think you don't know. You can tell light years away. When you're at a ball game.
I'm sorry if anybody that's watching right now, but go ahead.
if you're like the Canucks games around here and stuff, you go to those games, like they're a shade off. So you could tell as people are just walking in the jerseys, like which one's like a shade off.
The name's just like a little too small on the back. Like, you know, like the sleeves are just like past the L. Like it just, I tried it once, never again.
Yeah, no, for sure. This is fun. I'm pretty stoked to be back in the NBA streets. I mean, I know I just got my Hoops Guy card, but it's pretty fun to see these names and like see. I've never played basketball best ball before. I've only played the BR stuff, right? I've only played the dailies. So this is a learning curve for me too. So it'd be pretty fun to walk through. And I think the best way for us to do it is walk through the way we did with Pete with baseball and football comps, because I think that resonates with people. I had a couple DMs were like, hey, when are you guys going to do hoops and like just simplify it for us kind of thing. So nice. I think that's the starting point. I think I can just go ahead and pull up that sheet and start walking through it.
Yeah.
Or do you guys have any?
No. Let's get right into it.
Okay. Any like macro thoughts on the contest? We touched on it a little bit at the end of last show. If you guys want to scroll back, we did like 20 minutes on that. But just macro, I think we were kind of all in favor of Underdog, shifting the structure a little bit to accommodate the fact that, silly season takes up a big portion of the end of the NBA season there. And, we want to be playing these games with our star players. We want to be playing when teams aren't tanking, when teams aren't resting for the playoffs, like that sort of deal, right? Mm-hmm. So I think we were all kind of in favor of what they did. And it's still weekly scoring. Like it's still best ball, even though it's like more of like a cumulative scoring structure. It's still spike weeks, right? So I mean, it's not just like adding cumulative total over the course of those 17 weeks. It's week by week as well. So I think there's a lot to like about the structure. And
I think so too.
Let's jump in here. I got the list. We can progressively add to it as we go. But let's just hit this rapid fire and then talk about some ADP stuff and then jump into draft. How about
that? Yeah, I think that's a good plan.
Okay. I will kick off positional comp because I think I have this one nailed. And I want to know what you guys think.
All right.
I think guard is the running back position because you can take the elites at the top or you can take scatter shots later that are going to find you points aka it's the deepest. I think wing is you want to target some elite scorers early because it falls off a cliff. So I think that's wide receiver. And then I think the bigs are tight end, where you get your elite Travis Kelce's, you get that sort of stuff, and you could even consider going ones at the onesie in some extreme, like just a joker lineup and just going like that's just Travis Kelce or something like that. What do you guys think about that?
I think you nailed it. I think that's a pretty good assessment there. I would say tight end for our baseball guys here. It kind of is like pitcher, where you can almost consider it like a hybrid of like tight end and QB kind of, because you can there are like a lot of builds where 4 bigs are viable.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I think you absolutely nailed it. Guard to me definitely feels like running back, where you can like attack it with a zero strategy and hit it with volume. Whereas wing, there's definitely a lot. It's stars and scrubs for wing for certain.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. Neumy, anything to add there, or do you want to take 0 RB for us?
No, I agree with that 100% with those positional comps.
Cool. So then I guess that would mean 0 RB kind of becomes a little bit redundant here, because that would be the punting of guard, right? So we could just kind of.
That's true. But
or
0 big, or so while guard is more reminiscent of the running back position, in my opinion, I think when it comes to like hyper fragile versus like 0 RB, it's that more is like 0 big, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I think with big, it's like if you make an investment at big early with like one of these top 3 bigs, taking more than like 3 bigs just doesn't seem. It just seems really redundant and not ideal really at all. So, but on the flip side, if you kind of wait for big and you can kind of throw some darts and try to like capture those spike weeks, that I think actually is a little more reminiscent of the 0 RB strategy. Whereas with guard, I'm rarely going anything other than like 6 to 8, depending on when I take them.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I like that.
I like
anything
that
to add? Yeah, anything to add, Neumy?
I mean, you could. That was well said in the way that that's kind of how I've been going about it. So I like that a lot.
Okay, cool. Roster construction. What do we think kind of like the standard build is? What we would classify as our 6-7-7, or is that right? 6-7-7 in.
Yeah, we got 16 slots here.
So
yeah. So what's the
less.
equivalent? Yeah, what's the equivalent of our 2-6-8-2 or our 6-7-7 in baseball? What's the equivalent here? What is the standard archetype?
They're going to be 6. So yeah, if you're going at 3, I think it would be 7-6-3. You go a little bit heavier on guard. I mean, that's the way I kind of think about it. Is getting those extra bullets at. But then you can also do 6-6-4 if you're doing my punt big method that I like. So I mean, I think there's multiple ways in like the base construction, but just having I really think to go into that with a quick layer is just being balanced throughout the draft. I know we talked about punting, but like really if you're just punting it and you do the 0 big, I still like to get a big maybe in that middle round, or if you're punting guard, still like to get a guard. Like just simply going 0 like for the first 7-8 rounds feels pretty dead. Like you're just giving, especially in this cumulative format. I mean, just for me, I don't know your guys' thoughts there, but.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
yeah, go ahead, John.
No, I was just going to say, I'm not that far down the game tree. Like I've only done a handful of these so far. And I think it's a good point, and I think I'll agree as soon as I see it. I trust your insight there, Neumy.
I think if you were to like do an average as far as like the builds, I think it would be like 6.5, 6.2, and like 3.3, like something like along those lines, as far as if you were to like actually get the mean of each one of these positions.
I like doing that just from like a thought process exercise, because it really means that our structures will gravitate towards like 3 separate ones. So there isn't necessarily as clear defined as like 2-6-8-2 in NFL, right? Because that's like pretty well defined as like the base. That's a good way of thinking about it. Okay, cool, perfect. Yeah, here you go. So thanks for speaking.
I got you,
baseball
Magic
too. Yeah, we got you guys. We got you guys. This is the full-fledged comp guy stream where we're bouncing between like 3 sports and whatever. This is why
covering all angles.
You don't find this content anywhere else here.
Come on, guys. Let's go.
Week 17. So is there a week 17? Because, we're optimizing for the first 17 weeks of this season. And, one point to make. There is a new play-in tournament this year, right?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And that play-in tournament, all of the games from that play-in tournament will count except for the semifinals and the finals. So because all the play-in games are actually in the regular season schedule, except for the semifinals and the playoffs. So semifinals and playoffs of the midseason tournament will not count in this contest. So you can't kind of like forecast a team that might get 2 extra games or something like that. Okay.
Yeah, that whole thing's super goofy.
Yeah, it is goofy as all hell. It's like we're trying to make get people to care. Yeah, we're trying to make more money.
They want more money, and it's a feeling out. I think hearing it more. But we'll get into the in-season tournament. All right, continue. Sorry, go. But yeah, it is goofy.
Yeah. Week 17 to us. Is there one then, or is it just kind of?
Well, I would say no, because where the money is and where we're trying to maximize for it. I mean, maybe if you're I would say the whole season is week 17, basically, like the whole regular season, because again, that's where majority of the money is. I think only 96 spots even get paid out in the postseason, if I was correct. Maybe I'm wrong there, but so rather than NFL, NBA, or sorry, MLB, the round 4 for PGA, the all the money is not now in round, quote unquote, round 4, the final week of the season where everything's being played. So it's really only 94 spots get paid out. So I don't know. I know your guys' thoughts there, but it's kind of like non-existent in this specific format and contest, for me at least.
Yeah, definitely not something I'm optimizing for at all.
Now, is there any portion of like regular season that we could conceivably optimize for instead then? So if I haven't done this research yet, but in theory, in these first like 17 weeks, is there going to be like one team that plays like 3 more games than the rest of the field? And that's like a positional tiebreaker for us? Or you think anything like that could become our little micro week 17 edge?
I think it would have to stack. It would have to be one, like, not only do you play more games, but we look at the schedule and see like maybe you play like the Spurs, Rockets, Thunder, like some team that we can like project to be like very high pace. If they have the extra games plus they play those teams more than other teams in our regular season, I think things would have to like layer for it to like actually matter. But if those things don't overlap, then I probably wouldn't. It's something that I'm not even going to psych myself out on. But if we have more than one of those factors, then it becomes like actually pretty interesting and something that I might actually use to bump a player up a spot or two.
Okay, so I'm gonna put a bunch of question marks, and I'm gonna be like, schedule dependent, isn't it with a or dependent?
ENT. Maybe in Canada they spell it differently, but
well, seeing as though I'm illiterate, it probably doesn't matter how they spell it. So schedule
like
dependent, matchup. Yeah. Okay, cool. Stacking. This is one I was thinking about last night a little bit. I think there's 2 ways which you can stack. One would be with facilitating guards with bigs on the same team. So I'm thinking something like Hallie plus Miles Turner. I think maybe there's a little bit of correlation bump there if you're deciding between two bigs, whether it's Miles Turner and insert player X. If you're deciding between two and I already have Hallie on my roster, I might give a slight bump to like Miles Turner. Same with a guy like Marcus Smart and Jaren Jackson Jr., something like that. I could see myself giving it a small little correlation bump there. But the other one that I've been really thinking through is because basketball, every positional replacement in basketball feels like a 4K running back in football. Right? You get the big to go down. The next guy steps into minutes. He's a 1.1 fantasy point per minute. He steps into this. I've thought about stacking in terms of pairing potential player types together that we know are going to miss time. Pairing Jimmy Buckets and Kyle Lowry or Bradley Beal. Pairing Kawhi Leonard and Russell Westbrook. Pairing LaMelo Ball and Terry Rozier. That would kind of be like a double condom method of stacking, but you're filling the points that you miss with high fantasy point per minute guys when they miss.
I think on the surface, it feels like you're putting a condom on it. But when you dig deeper, like you're saying, I think that makes a lot of sense. Like if you know that this high usage guy becomes or the potential to be a high usage guy if a benching happens and this stuff, rest and injuries and stuff happens all the time. We see how drastically it changes ADP, where all of a sudden, like you mentioned, like that's a great example, Terry Rozier in battle royales becomes like a 3rd round guy in a 6-team draft, like a top that's translation. That's a top 18 player on our format where there are no positional allocations in the dailies. I mean, dude, yeah, that's a really good one to bring up. And that's something that maybe we, future episodes, we can kind of like identify some potential spots where there's, however you want to describe it, musical chairs, merry-go-round of, where like next man up is actually going to be somebody that delivers a lot of value. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I like that. For me, I've been thinking about it a little, just so like you brought in how you talked about earlier that basically this isn't still just cumulative in the fact that it's the whole season broken down into like this, but it's broken down into weeks and there's still spike weeks. I'm trying to build something that I did, make a sheet that I did for the 7th inning stretch, and basically try and stack teams that, if you're going big on say the Warriors or something like that, or you have a couple of Warriors and you notice in certain weeks they only have a little amount of games, you can maybe then stack up a team and then kind of fill those empty voided games with a team that maybe has more games in that specific week. So you're not you're leaving yourself with like just consistent points. You're not leaving like, oh, this entire team is dead for 1 to 2 weeks. That could end up hurting you quite a bit, especially in this cumulative style format. So it's different than just, it's basically like inner team stacking where it's like trying to get those pairings that basically line up.
Right. And that probably wouldn't be too hard to identify. Like you don't need a model to tell you that. Like you can literally just like get a spreadsheet that has number of games per week and just conditional format it and like match like red and green. Okay. Like these players go well together, like it's honestly like that simple.
Yeah, that's something that I've been trying to think of and build out. Exactly, Nez, what you said was just our simple games per week, boom, and then you can kind of determine a little cheat sheet of what stacks up well. Like if you get Giannis here, you'll know certain weeks, yada yada. If you go small, then so
of course, Chip, this is exactly what you like. You're all upset, and we're still gigabraining.
You're optimizing for games played in a method that I enjoy. That's not just try and pre-plan who's going to be available on that week 14, and basically which one. Wow,
good point.
Well said by Matt. Well, yeah, that's There you go. Well said. Wait, perfectly scripted right there.
Yeah.
How I was trying to get out.
Yeah, we'll
into
service the audio listeners. Yeah, like what you'd really want to do is try to maximize games in each week, like alternate guys playing 4-game weeks. So you always have guys with 4-game weeks. Yeah, that's very sharp. So if we break down the schedule and we see that like Portland is playing like, week 2, 5, and 7, they're playing 4. And then we use Neumy2's Warriors example, and you fill the void because they're playing 4 in weeks 3, 4, and 6. Then like, okay, yeah, stacking Portland and the Warriors makes a lot of sense together. Yeah, I think you guys are really on something there, Neumy, and then Matt again in the chat. Beautiful. Okay. Yeah, pairing certain teams, aka games played in given week. Here we go. Maximize games per week. All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, Neumy, what is pissing yellow in this format to you?
Whew. Probably, I think it would be wing.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Like cranking wing early and shutting it down.
Yeah, I did a team that was pretty interesting where I just did 4 wings basically, and it was just my first 4 picks were the equivalent of I got like Kevin Durant, LeBron, Paul George, and then someone else fell to me. I think it was like Scotty Barnes or something like that. And I just, I just said, boom. Now that's without going into the stacking and all that. So anyone going to come in here and be like, oh, games played, yada, yada. But that's something I did.
I don't think it's going to happen just yet.
Yeah, exactly.
But do anything.
But that's my thought of basically pissing yellow and then just trying to also then that's 0 RB basically with the guard. Is just there's a lot of guards, like you said, late that I think can step up into minutes that I really like. So yeah, I would go
ripping wing. I think that has a nice ring to it. Puking green, maybe chucking green, ripping wing. I think that is like an excellent comparison there. My only I only did 1 basketball team last year, and I went too heavy at wing. But what I did do at wing was like one of my first 3 picks, like Neumy said, were like 3 like awesome wings, like KD, Giannis, I think, and somebody else. But I went heavy wing and like in hey, sample size of 1, that thing got through. So I think that, with your details, I mean, your detours of getting like a big here and there, a wing, but really prioritizing wing early is definitely seems optimal right now. But there are some values later on, I will say. But
all right, we'll save those ones for a minute here. Onesies position we kind of addressed. We think that's the big. Where it's kind of like stars and scrubs, elite at the top. David Montgomery, that's the catch the falling knife guard in the middle there. I would allude that to, right?
Yeah, for sure. I'll have to look at these.
Maybe he doesn't have to be. You know who David Montgomery is?
Tell me. Well, that player doesn't exist.
Spell his name? Like that?
I was gonna say
that player doesn't exist.
I have no idea how to spell his name.
I was gonna say I think the catching the falling knife right now in this contest is John Morant.
Interesting. Okay, because I kind of like him.
I think he's way too rich at that price, dude. We don't even know what kind of a suspension he's gonna get, and in this cumulative style format, sure, like it's broken down in a week, so it's different. Like he can obviously come back, but like putting 55 price or 52 price tag on that, I'm good.
Well, we know he's missing 25 games.
Yeah.
Is that 100%? That's a suspension, 25. That's it.
Yeah, they announced that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
still,
I've been thinking about it like this. Let's use an example because this is a good conversation to have, Neumy. I'm glad that you brought it up. Let's go to the NBA ranks here. I've been looking at it in the lens of like, how we play like star players in NBA comparative to like other sports. Like I am more apt to take John Morant right now than I am to take Jameson Williams in BBM. And my thought process is because when he's back, he's a bona fide stud. Like he's a bona fide top 10 pick stud, right? And when I look in, okay, so Jaw's about here, right? Like Jaw's going 52. He was 65-ish before when we started this contest, whatever. When I look at Jaw, like I don't mind just backfilling this roster spot late on the bench by stacking Marcus Smart with him for 25 games or stacking like Desmond Bane with him. Bane goes before him, but doing something like that, because if I look at these front end names, like Kawhi Leonard, he's probably missing 25 games this year. Jimmy Butler, he's probably missing 25 games this year. Paul George, he's probably missing 25 games this year. It's just when those games come. At least Ja, I know when they're coming, I guess. I'm pretty fine with it because so many elite players in the NBA miss so much scheduled time that I'm super fine just being like, yeah, when Ja plays, he's top 10. When he's not out there, I'm just getting that discount because of it.
Yeah, he's tough, man. I think his ADP right now is pretty good. It's at a place right now where I'd have to think about it a lot more to like, I want to game plan how I'm going to be taking Ja Morant. If you are, I don't know how much thought you've like given it just yet, but if you were taking Ja Morant on a team, are you doing it where you have guard firepower and you're able to like withstand that? Or are you like going thin at guard, crossing your fingers, and once he's back, like now you're supercharged because your wings and bigs are like dirt nasty and now you have Ja Morant? I think that's like an interesting conversation. We don't necessarily like to deep dive it, but
yeah, I think both are viable. I think both are viable. Like from a structural standpoint, I think if I was playing 150 of these things, I think I would want both of those combinations, right? Where you're shooting the moon. I think there's a good case for doing it with like elite big wing to start, and then just being like Ja in the 6th is like your first guard, and then you just slam a bunch of backfilled guards and you go 7.
I'll walk that back. I didn't see his suspension because I literally don't care about Ja Morant, so didn't even. Figured he'd be out of the league by now. But I'll walk that back and say I'll
It was so harsh. All he did was flash a gun. It's not like that crazy.
Oh yeah, I know. And then
threatened murder anyone.
And then threatened and like beat up a kid like at a pickup game or something like that.
He's got a laundry list of
great guy, Ja Morant.
I don't think you should be out of the league, but he's got a laundry list of like, dude, like you are trying so hard to fumble the bag that nobody's ever tried this hard to like ruin generational wealth.
I didn't know it was 25 games, so just thinking the game theory of it, I think it's correct. It's like, I mean, having Ja there, I mean, he's a borderline in dailies if you're thinking through that lens, first, second round pick. I'll walk that back and probably have to think about that.
And I think what's interesting too with Ja, I'm sorry, go ahead, Neumy.
No, I'll walk it back, and he'll probably be someone that I actually will have a little bit too, because of the firepower and what he brings to that squad. So I'll walk that back a little bit.
What makes him interesting too is you can get his teammate Marcus Smart at pick like 90 something. So that is like really nice contingency. I think those two make a hell of a lot of sense together. Maybe Bane and Ja actually make even more sense together because we know like the Bane's usage when Ja's not there, and you're getting that, and like so I think my hope is that Ja stays in this 50 range because this feels nice, and I worry that he's going to find himself in the 40s.
What do you think? Similarly to like that when we were playing the dailies last year, you would push up Tyus Jones on those slates where he wasn't there, and like let's say we had like an 8-game Memphis slate, Bane and JJJ were like top 3 rounders.
Yep.
And then Tyus Jones was like one of everyone who was like the sharp guys in the community favorite 5th or 6th rounders, right? Now, no Tyus Jones, Marcus Smart just slides into that role, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much the
Eric Rose, baby.
No, the blueprint. He is on that team.
I'm just joking.
Yuck.
Joking. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, you could do a whole episode on like Ja Morant game theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to defend Ja. I don't know like a ton of like shit about like these guys, but I kind of feel like the shit that Ja's done is probably not nearly as bad as like Tyreek, Joe Mixon, and Zeke. You know what I mean? And it's just top of mind like now, and nobody talks about it. But like those guys get a pass in the NFL, and then he doesn't get a pass right now because he's just like such a huge star in the NBA in like a star-driven league.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
It's so weird.
It's just that Ja is just this like literally like laundry list of petty shit, like threatening people.
It's
on Twitter
layers
to, like,
of stupidity.
I'm gonna hit you with like hollow point bullets if you keep talking shit about my game, and like
He says that,
and
he's like, see how these hollows feel. Like he's like,
and then
shut up.
And then
Oh
like
my
the
God.
alleged punch a teenager, flash a gun at a pickup game, and then now him and his lawyer are claiming self-defense like this summer, and it's just hilarious.
My God.
It's hilarious. But anyway, not to get into Ja and all that, but yeah. So yeah, I'll maybe walk that back, and I guess the falling knife for me, if I had to go with that, I don't know. I think I know DeMar is the cliche, like we always talk about. Oh my God, DeMar, but I don't mind DeMar DeRozan in this format for what he gives you.
He could be a trade piece too. I don't know if that's good or bad, but he could be a trade piece.
I have an answer personally.
Okay, let's go with it.
And it hurts me. This hurts me because I love this player. But for me, dude, it's Josh Giddey.
Oh, okay.
Giddey right now goes top 50 in this format. And when you look at the Thunder and like who they have, like with they have Chet coming back from injury. They brought in Cason Wallace, so I think Cason Wallace is a really good player. And with Jalen Williams, they're both Jalen Williams, but you know, the Jalen Williams that plays more, you know, getting another year there. I just think that there's a lot that has to go right for Josh Giddey to like really pay that off. And what has to happen there is he needs to be a offensive focal point, and he needs to get the large minutes to make that happen. And with these players that are on the court with the Thunder this year, I like Giddey, but a top 50 pick for Josh Giddey right now, I don't know that makes sense given their roster. That's how I'm looking at it personally. It hurts because I love this.
That's fair. I like Giddey. I like Giddey. Honestly, for me, I think the falling knife might be, and this one pains me because I like the squad's fun, but I don't know how much usage is there to go around for Bradley Beal on that Phoenix Suns squad.
Nice.
So I'm looking at Bradley Beal, and I'm also looking at also pains me because I love him, Chris Middleton. Just because I don't know what Chris Middleton is fully going to give you in this format that you love. Like obviously he's been hurt last 2 years. Don't look at his box score, but
he was really good to close out the end of last year in the regular season there. Yeah, but they were missing bodies too.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, he comes back to full force, ready to go. But yeah, and those play. I mean, I like him. But it's just thinking of usage and everything to go around this format. If I have to pick those kind of are my guys. If I retake that Ja statement back, so.
Rookie upside. We think about it in the NFL streets as like, yeah, we gotta go get these guys, man. Their ceilings are gonna be huge late. In this contest, I'm a little skittish right now on Wemby. Wemby's ADP has already moved up to 25. He started at 34. Nez saw him go, what did you see, first round or second round?
16.
16.
Pick 16. My very first draft.
Does the carpet match the drapes for that guy? Is it a ceiling that you're willing to bet on there?
I'm not going to speculate on the private matters of Wemby, but it's really hard to envision Wemby not like being a good pick. I will say, just the way that like I don't think there's much change in the way of pace for the Spurs. I think the Spurs are going to continue to be a really high pace team. Wemby, it's hard to envision Wemby not being a high usage guy on the Spurs. And Wemby is going to average like 2 blocks a game.
Yeah, we saw it in Summer League.
There's no way he doesn't.
first game he missed like what? He went 2 for 12 in the first game of Summer League, something ridiculous like that, and he was bricking everything, and he still had 4 blocks.
He's such a problem defensively.
I just worry, and maybe it's just, and he's number 1 pick, but the Spurs, and I know they did, everyone was doing stupid shit for Wemby to get Wemby, so maybe that's done with. But if there's any team that just pulls stupid shit, and all of a sudden they're not fully giving Wemby yada yada this yada yada yada, it just seems like that could potentially be the Spurs. So that's my only worry. But yeah, I agree with you, Nez. It's hard to imagine where Wemby doesn't pay off, especially in this format. Like we talked about our boy Walker Kessler and his block upside. Like if I just go to Walker Kessler, 173 and 131 for blocks, like Wemby could blow that out of the water, and that just gives you the floor that gives you is incredible. So I don't know. I think that's someone I'm going to have to take. It's kind of like do I want to take him there? But I see the name brand making him rise, only like just continue to rise. So I want to get my shares before all of a sudden he's at that borderline first round. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the rookie upside conversation turned into a Wemby conversation, so I want to walk it back for 1 second and just ask you guys, in general, is targeting rookies in NBA best ball the same as NFL? Is it bad, worse? Is it team dependent? Is it situation dependent? Is it only a handful of guys you're willing to bet on this year? Where do you guys stand, just like rookie class in general?
I think it's better than targeting rookies in NFL best ball.
Interesting. Okay, you think they step into playing time sooner rather than later, and they get lion's share workload early?
Yes.
Okay. So it's like
absolutely
every rookie is Bijan right now. Like they're just going to come out here and they're just going to play.
Well, Wemby's Bijan, but
okay.
The rest, I don't know that you can call them Bijan, because you're not likely to get the results that Bijan and Wemby I feel are going to give you. But there are some really exciting rookies in this class that are in position to like step up and provide you with pretty nice floors. They're not super cheap, but they do exist, and that's why
who are
they
some
go.
of those.
I think the Thompson twins are
okay.
in a spot to put up some really good numbers. Those are guys that have really strong defensive floors by the looks of it, and will get a lot of minutes. So just having the steal block floor with usage, I think can really provide you with some really solid spike weeks in this contest. Good.
No, let me just touch on the steal block floor being so huge because of the scoring system, because of, if you weren't here for the daily contests with us, this format of scoring really rewards the stock guys, the steal and block guys. And having that safety net floor, especially in a season-long contest, gives you like a benchmark baseline of scoring. Neumy, any other rookies and or rookie upside takes for you?
I'll push back and say I think it's worse in this format in NBA.
Okay.
I think there's very few rookies that actually show the upside of the people going around them in their range. And it's just, for me, I would target rookies that I like the Thompson twins, like you said. I like that. Just target them on bad teams where all of a sudden they can just get the run out no matter how bad they're playing. Because we know the rookie struggles in the NBA. We know the adapting and learning curve. I like Chip's point here that he put, you want the second and third year guys more, which I kind of agree. Guys that maybe have adjusted to the league. That's kind of my first just sense at that when it comes to the rookie upside. It just seems like if you're not a top 5 pick, you're kind of just trying to find lightning in a bottle with what rookie you're taking that's going to actually provide a usable score.
Okay. That stands too. Okay, cool. I got a question for you guys, just in terms of like rookie class question. Does age play a factor in determining the landscape? Where, we kind of have like the Fred VanVleet types who come out like a bit later. They're kind of more conditioned and ready to take over and step into a role immediately. Whereas, some of these other guys, the 18-year-olds, like, the Wembys, the 18, the 19, the 20-year-olds, who just like maybe aren't ready to play right away at such a young age and need that development. Is there anything for you guys in this rookie class like that?
I haven't seen done like a deep dive on like maybe like some of like the second round picks that have the ability to step in as far as like older guys, but that's definitely a factor, right? Like being an older rookie and having like a more projections would probably favor you being somebody that that can step in and contribute more just because you're older.
Matt bringing up a good point here that all good rookies are in bad spots except for Scoot. If Lillard ends up going somewhere,
Scoot is like, we should honestly make a thing for Alexander Madison and it's just for Scoot Henderson, because once Lillard gets dealt, he's moving up.
Yeah. Good count. That's a good one. All right.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Like the rookies aren't in the greatest spots when it comes to that. Like Brandon Miller, like I'm totally I'm not out, but I'm fully kind of out on him with LaMelo and Terry and Miles Bridges coming back. Like they're just they're not in the greatest spots. And even the Toms, whichever one's in Houston doesn't excite me either, just because of the friends
I think.
Yeah, and they already have how many freaking first round picks there with Jalen Green and Jabari. Like I'd rather take my bet with those guys. So.
All right. Yeah, no, I like that. Good point, Neumy. I'm looking through the chat right now for some other rookie names. Oh, Chad had rookie of the year odds for us right there. So just a cool little way to look at. Interesting that there's just one Thompson on the list. Wemby. Chat. I saw Mike Zakarian, Team Hold, been on the show before, blah, blah, blah. NBA guy, does the NBA bit stuff with John Boy Beats and that sort of stuff. And he was talking about how Chet is going to be one of his favorites. He just said that on Twitter to me, actually. But that, Chet might be one of his favorite targets in general, just given scarcity at big and potential ceiling upside he represents in that OKC offense.
Yeah, we kind of joked, like, why take Wemby when you can take Chet like 3 rounds later? Very, very similar type of projections for these guys, where Chet's average blocks per game will probably be 2 and have some like really strong offensive potential there. He's going to be like really awesome for the Thunder.
That's why I like Giddey. Is I think Chet kind of unlocks Giddey even more in terms of assist upside and just everything going around. Like I like that. I like what Chet brings.
That's a nice way to look at it. Yeah.
That OKC. Yeah, I think Chet. Yeah, exactly. Chet will be. I have a lot of Chet.
That's a good point, Neumy, for the Giddey love there. There's T-Bear hitting on one in the chat here. This Christian Wood one. The Christian Wood one is like kind of looming right now. I don't know what a good home for him is. Like when you can't get on the floor for the Mavs and you can't play defense.
The Wizards are a good home.
Yeah.
I like that take. Yeah, just put him on the Wizards. Yeah. They got no one.
I've been taking a little bit of Gafford in the first couple of drafts there, just as he's going to step into a role. We played him a little bit in the dailies last year when Zinger was out, or we used him as a swap option when Zinger was out, kind of like Naz Reid light, I would say.
Yeah. I mean that Gafford and Wood little duo in there in Washington would be nice. And then
I think that'd be
depending
good.
on Wood, I think it depends where he signs, because he's either gonna. I mean, I don't know. His ADP is at 107. He either goes up or down a little bit. So
this is the correct take. This is the correct take that none of us had. Ricky Bears coming in here.
I've seen it.
Yeah. Oh, this is good. Hey, we got some consensus here from Top Stat NFT. Perfect. Some consensus amongst the community. That's a good start for us. I do really like this Wizards shout. I've been clicking Kuzma's name a lot. I haven't clicked Jordan Poole's name. I've been clicking Tyus Jones's name a lot. Actually.
Yeah, the Wizards are way too cheap. They're just. I mean, like maybe way is an exaggeration, but it feels really unlikely that Poole at 52, Kuzma at 54. Tyus Jones, Avija, and that French
Avija, Danny Avia,
Mookie. Dude, we don't. What is he, French? We don't speak French like you French Canadians. And that other French dude they drafted, Kula Baby. Those guys all seem in line for a lot of work.
I like it. Here's an interesting take from the chat. Matt saying Poole over Ja. I could see that. I mean,
Yeah, Poole about to go nuts without having Draymond there.
Yeah,
yeah,
dude.
Poole,
I mean,
it's going to be a Poole party every single night. He's just going to huck that ball up there.
Yeah. This might be one of the funniest back-to-back comments in our chat history in a long time. Ricky Beers goes, he's knocking him down the ranks because of the sports bra about the Chet stuff. And then someone with the name who we've seen in here before, Cross-Dressing Life is the handle, and says, I'm moving him up for the same reason.
Wow.
Just works on so many levels.
Wow.
It works on so many levels. That's a beautiful thing to see.
We're such a diverse channel, man.
We are such a diverse channel. I like it. That's awesome. RB dead zone. I was thinking in my mind, it was kind of the wings cliff. Like when the wings, I know it doesn't positionally comp to what we said earlier, but the RB dead zone for me is kind of like that middling tier of wings where they just kind of fall off a cliff. Do you guys agree with that, or have you seen differently?
I would comp it the same.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, so we'll do wings cliff there. The hero RB we kind of alluded to earlier, where the guards at the top and then just kind of like the depth of the position at the back end offers you, something where you can punt what you can do like a hero RB, but at the guard position where you take Steph from like the 108 or the 109, and then you just don't take another guard. Like you take big wing, and then you don't take another guard until like the 5th or 6th round or 6th or 7th round, something like that. Yeah. Or you could do it in the same vein with, as Nez alluded to, with the bigs where you do big early and then you just kind of do only one more big or two more bigs late.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing a lot of 2 big builds.
Okay, so we could do the 2 big build as a potential hero RB build, and another hero RB build was the guard early,
Wing.
like guard, be like guard, big, wing, big, guard. There you go.
Sure.
I was waiting for you to literally start going wing.
Bueller.
Plot out the whole draft.
Ford Field of Detroit.
Yeah. So the Ford Field, aka the Coors Field, the pace up spot. I think we keep going back to the well with Sac. I think we keep going back to the well with Indiana. I don't know, with Indy.
Yeah, no, I think the Pacers. I don't think anything's changed with the Pacers.
Yeah. Detroit? Question mark.
I mean, yeah, they're just bad. So
yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah.
I think Spurs are still going to be one of these teams as well.
Anyone that and then not bumped down, but it's just like teams going into Denver, going to play in that altitude.
The Hawks,
anything like that. But yeah, Hawks for sure.
Hawks.
Although that
Hawks are going to be might be even faster this year if they get rid of Capella.
I mean, well, will they? Because they already got rid of John Collins.
Yeah, but what if you see all the rumors about bringing in Siakam?
Hello.
Yo, could you imagine? Like
Siakam, I think is going somewhere, and I don't know where, but yeah, that's a good shout. That'd be interesting.
Like, Trey, DeJounte, Siakam, and Patty Mills playing fast. Let's go.
Patty Mills. Patty Mills.
Yeah, and Brogdon.
Last
Houston.
year,
that's a good one too. That's
the Rockets. Shout. The Rockets for sure.
Rockets, yeah.
Charlotte.
Yep, good one, Neumy. We were targeting the shit out of Charlotte last year.
The Raptors, they played pretty slow last year, if I remember correctly, right? Or no?
Yeah, they played pretty slow and pretty condensed. Like, remember they only had like that 7 rotation. Yeah, Golden State's always pace up.
I wonder if the Raptors are just end up becoming so bad that this is like a Ford Field team.
Well, I could see that. My problem is they just signed Jakob Poeltl, and that's like their focal point now because they let Fred VanVleet go. There's trade rumors about Siakam, and you can't really play that fast with Jakob Poeltl being like on the floor 32 minutes.
No, that's a really good point.
So it's weird that they signed him and not like some of the other guys. I think
they signed him because they didn't think they would get such a good deal. Like
okay.
in my amateur opinion, 4 years, $80 million for Poeltl is just like a steal. So they were like, shit, man, if no one's going to give this to you, like we'll take you and then we'll trade, like we'll trade you later. Like it's because
that's a good point.
A deal. Like with how well he was playing, I'm really surprised that he only got 480 with the fact that you have guys like Dillon Brooks. Like what did Dillon Brooks get?
I can't remember, but I'm not taking him out of principle ever.
Oh, way too much.
He got the same deal as Poeltl.
Yeah.
And who's bringing more? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Washington add to this list too. That was a good ad. Washington's going to be a fun spot to target this year because they're going to play fast and bad. And there's going to be nights where Jordan Poole just has 46, 6 and 6.
Dude, like Jordan Poole and Kuzma are going to combine for like 60 field goal attempts a game. It's going to be nuts.
It's going to be fun. I like that. GA bringing up in the chat here, Melvin Gordon to the Ravens. Interesting that he got $3.1 million.
I know, man. I want to see how much of that. I need our boy Sam Sherman to tell us how much is guaranteed because
here, I'll look it up right now and see if it's up yet.
That definitely sucks for the Gus boys, of which I am part of that cable.
So I wonder just what the team's going to be when it's tank for Bronny and LeBron this year. Because Bronny isn't a big prospect, but it's the thought of all of a sudden whoever drafts Bronny, well, congratulations, LeBron's coming to your team.
I hate that. I feel bad for the kid. Like honestly, I mean, like if in this isolated situation where it's your value is artificially inflated by your dad. Like I know the dude just wants to shake his.
He's going. His projected last time I saw was like middle of the NBA draft.
He'll be an NBA player.
Oh, for sure, yeah. It's just but it's not going to be tank for Wemby. It's going to be tank for Braun and Bronny. Basically.
Yeah, all the value with him is unfortunately tied to LeBron and not like what he can bring. But I think he has the ability to be like a strong defensive player. Like a role guy for in the NBA. Like I'm excited to see Bronny, but you're absolutely right, man. This could end up getting like ridiculous. Or nobody takes him because they're like, hey, he's going to stay in LA, and then the Lakers get Bronny for free. Like something like that could definitely happen.
One more I was going to ask you guys, just because you're talking the Bronny situation and talking about names and stuff. There's no chance that Ball comes back this year, right?
No, he's out. He's out for the season.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain he's out for this season.
Yeah, he might be out.
Which is, I have one of my favorite pieces that is literally going undrafted with no ADP. I'll kind of shout out later or whenever.
Shout it right now. Why are you saving it?
Well, Javon Carter for the Bulls is basically lined up to just be the starting point guard at this point. Like,
wow.
So, and they're not bringing back what's his name? AU?
Don't think so.
They're not bringing him back. I saw that already.
So when I was looking at the depth charts, I'm pretty sure
because Caruso doesn't really play point, right? He's more of like a wing. I mean, like shooting guard.
Well, is
guard
Caruso,
in our format.
Yeah. And so exactly. I mean, he can kind of play up there. They have Kobe White, but just looking at that, and it was just in terms of the free with Javon Carter. I like that.
Yeah, that's who I was kind of like expecting to be the starting point guard, but Javon Carter is a good player, so he's
got the stock.
He's gonna be getting a lot of minutes.
He's got stock upside too. I mean, his last 2 seasons when he's gotten over 1,400 minutes, we're looking at 60 steals and 25 blocks. So if he just gets more minutes to potentially on a team that that easily could be sellers. Like, you know what I mean? Yet again, if they're not, I mean, they could do anything on that. But yeah, no, I like the Kobe White shout out if they just resign him as well. I mean, both those guys are interesting. But yeah, that's a fun guard.
Do you guys have any
One sec.
issues? Oh, I'm sorry.
No. You're good. You're good. I've just been trying to sneak this one in for a minute here, just because we had just closed up on that. I'm gonna put the sheet, share the sheet in the chat for everyone. We got 35 of us hanging out. Please hit that like, that subscribe, that follow, that notification. A little bit of housekeeping there, and then share that sheet around. Make a copy of it, add to it as you see fit, and blah blah blah. Yes, go Nez.
Just looking at this ADP as we get ready for this draft. Wasn't sure if you guys had any issues at all with like this top 10, this top 5. I know I, for one, am probably putting Luka above Giannis.
Ooh, spicy. I am not, because of the positional scarcity element of that. I actually have Embiid at 2 or 3. I can't remember when I did my initial one. But yeah, I think I like Joker, Giannis, and Embiid as like a clump. Then I kind of like Luka. Then I like the 2 wings. And then I think guard is kind of like pick your poison. But I am pushing up Sabonis like the field is now done. Sabonis started at like 18,
20.
19. Yeah. And Harden and Sabonis have basically flipped. And I think that's pretty correct in my mind. Yeah.
Definitely,
and I think for me, I think there's like a big line in the sand after like Ant. Like, I don't know, not necessarily in this order, but I do think like there's a clear tier of guards that is like Luka and Steph, and I guess SGA now, like the market
definitely
loves SGA.
Definitely.
Yeah. So like those 3, then there's like a line in the sand. Then for me, it's Ant. And then you can flip a coin between Trey, Hallie, and Melo. And then there's like another line in the sand at guard. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think there's definitely like tier breaks there, no doubt. But Sabonis for me is such a big target.
Yeah.
I think he ends up around like, I mean, he's at 11, so not a whole lot of more room to run, but I do think he makes his way into like 8 or 9 territory. Like he finds his way in the middle of those guards, because like you said, it's so pick your poison that people will probably just be like, you know what, fuck it, I'll take Sabonis, and then whatever guard comes around, I'll just take one of those guards, because Sabonis is a big man, like with the pace up that we were talking about with the Kings and the usage he gets, the rebound, like he's so sick. He's so sick.
Yeah, no, I fully agree with you there. Friends and family here. I see Clay, I see Chip, I see Infinite, I see Top Stat NFT, I see Blake.
Wow.
Bosnian dude, I see quite a bit too, but I don't actually know. Patty and Robbie, I've seen the screen names, I don't know them though. Uncle D, Uncle
Dunkle.
Uncle Dunkle. There you go.
Welcome to the show, Uncle Dunkle.
I love that.
That's a sweet name.
Stephanie Highs. Let's go. There you go. There's your Sabonis at 8, pushing the pace on ADP, pushing the big scarcity.
But I don't want to. With
Ant
AD
over
being so hurt.
Curry too.
Wow.
Ant over Curry all day, dude.
Wow.
That's easy. That's easy with the stock upside. That's not even a whole stock upside.
That is a shocking take from you, Neumy.
That is stock upside. You put Ant on any other team, and it's like, why would you take Steph Curry?
Yeah, it's fair.
Well, you don't get anything for
there
threes.
You go. You're talking about the stock upside for sure. Do you guys like Steph here?
I like Hallie or Ballmore personally.
Oh,
I don't know if that's just like my daily. This is my daily brain coming out, but
all right, fine. You guys are out on Steph. I thought Steph was like in that top 3 tier.
I've never been big on Steph in this format, really, because like Neumy said, there's no reward for threes. Like, and now here, you can like you make your pick, but I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring for Devin Booker.
Neumy,
AD or LeBron.
Let's do AD. I like getting ahead of big. I feel starting with 2 wings from the back end of the draft board, you get like pretty pushed behind. If you don't get Sabonis or AD from this backside, and then there's a run on bigs in the middle, it turns into like a 4 big punt, big one. And I'm not as big a fan of those roster constructions right now, I don't think.
I do think personally, if you are going to do like a 4 big strategy and take him in the middle, like now might be a good time just because Chet is pretty cheap and he might move up. Walker Kessler is pretty cheap. He might move up. Those guys are like, if you miss on big in your first 3 rounds, they should be like top of your queue for sure, just to make sure that you do not miss on guys that have the ability to match like week to week outputs at big.
That's a good point. That is a good point. I'd say some of my favorite ADPs are at big right now. I really like the Zinger one. Like,
oh my gosh, yeah.
I think this is phenomenal. I really like the Sengun one. We talked about the Chet one so many times. I love the Walker Kessler one. Like, those are kind of like 4 of my favorite big targets right now. Who else would you guys kind of lobby for?
Our boy Pirtle. I think Pirtle has a pretty nice price as well. He like in builds where he makes sense. I think that he's a really nice fit in Toronto.
For some reason, I can't stop taking Scotty Barnes. I think without Fred VanVleet
and the let's do that one.
Oh yeah,
any big you want to add?
It gets gross after.
Mark Williams was.
Yeah, Mark Williams is someone that I think is a smash there.
Yeah, he was pounding the table for him.
That's probably like where big starts getting really.
I like Naz and I like Kelly Olynyk as potential just give you points when you need it. I mean, anything. I mean, we've seen what Kelly Olynyk can definitely split that slate open pretty easy.
That's a deep dive.
We're back.
We are so back.
Naz Reid, I think, is a really good shout, Neumy. He was really playing well before he got injured last year, which is like a huge bummer. And a lot of the playing well is, obviously, I mean, due to the cat injury and giving him playing time. But Rudy Gobert has the perpetual Q tag. Shut up. He has the perpetual Q tag. And Naz is getting like rotational minutes. Like I've liked him since he was an LSU boy.
I'm really let me cross-reference this before I say it. So
okay, what? Oh, okay.
I think Mason Plumlee is truly one of the biggest values. If you just look at what he's done and what they trusted. I mean, the dude is going almost undrafted, and he's just continually put up in terms of even in limited minutes, like in 1,600 minutes, almost put up 200 just total points. And they clearly don't trust Zubac just to be their full guy, and they're going to rotate him in. And Plumlee's just set up for, I mean, just anything. Not being the focal point, just playing defense is pretty fun in that offense. So not like the biggest, but as a big back there, it's someone that I've taken a bit. And then obviously your boy,
the only one
Beef Stew.
Ooh, I like that shout. They gave him the bag. So, but yeah, the one thing I would push back on the Plumlee one was just the fact that last year we saw it fall off a cliff as soon as he went to the Clippers, because like the minutes weren't just there, right? Like they were kind of like him and Zubac were like kind of playing off one of another, and he went to the bench and he was playing like halftime roles. But yeah, he's free right now.
Yeah, at 185 or whatever. Yeah, 184, basically 185. Yeah, I think it's worth that. Yeah, no, that's a definitely good. That's a good nugget there. Yeah, it did get a little worse as he went over to the Clip.
Let's do maybe we'll make our pick and then we'll do wings. Kind of harder as the queue ran. Maybe I'll open up the ranks on the side or something like that. But you alluded to Scotty Barnes already there, Neumy. I like Bridges. That's not going to be a surprise to anyone who's watched the show at all.
Big ass shotgun?
Yeah, marketing, baby. Marketing in the third round. That's theft, baby. That's theft.
Is it?
You ever heard of a big ass shotgun, buddy?
I've seen them. I'm just.
I take Lowry Markkanen when you can just take Walker Kessler.
I guess.
I know they're different positions, so totally different.
Yeah, Jazz are interesting. We'll see what like the addition of like John Collins does to the Markkanen usage, and They've got a rookie that people are pretty excited about, Keontae George as well. I think he fell to 16. Nobody really expected him to fall that far. Jazz are interesting,
and they got Luka Salmonak, or however you pronounce his last. The other guy that was supposed to be a goat.
They got Luka. Like I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Luka soon.
Cade goes there. This is a spot where I've kind of been forgoing the Kawhi, buckets, and George tier, and I've been taking Brandon Ingram. I might be on an island there. I really like Zinger too, and then taking whichever wing falls back to us. You guys have any preference?
Kristaps or Mobley, I think.
Kawhi.
Kristaps. Let's do this. Yeah, like Kawhi's an amazing player when he's on the floor. I just don't see it for the Clips this year. I just don't. I see it in terms of like, just ride all of our bench dudes for as long as we can, and then do what the Lakers did last year. Like get in as the 8th seed, and then bring back Kawhi and George. And whatever.
4th round Kawhi just seems like a steal to me. I'm sorry. It just seems like theft.
Well, this was the thesis, right? You take the big first, and then you kind of have your pick of all the wings that come back here. Yeah, 4th round Kawhi does seem. I mean, he probably last year's contest, he's probably inside the top 12.
I think he had the injury to start, so he was kind of suppressed.
True,
but yeah,
true.
if there's no injury.
Whoa, Kawhi Leonard had an injury. What? Really? Huh. I had no idea. Why take John Morant when you can take Kawhi Leonard, who's going to miss his 25 games scattered across the schedule?
Exactly. That's exactly what the jaw thesis was. So, yeah. That's kind of why I've been leading Brandon Ingram in that range, is because I can poke so many holes in Kawhi, Paul George, and Jimmy Butler. Like they just basically never play regular seasons. So I've been taking Ingram.
This is the spot to take Leonard. I will say, if he sits less games, like then he is a Giga Smash at the wing. But but that is rent free in my head, thinking about like Kawhi Leonard, like not playing today. Like I'm gonna throw my phone against my wall a few times if my exposure is too high on Leonard, and I see that
perennial Q tags
once a week.
When we start with like the AD plus Porzingis start like this, and we're pretty balanced right now, but we started 2 bigs. Is this a 2 big team for you guys or a 3 big team for you? Because reminder to everyone, you only have to start 1 big.
This is 2 for me.
So you would just stop right now.
100%.
Wow, nice. Neumy?
Like you're adding a bench guy if you add another big. Like that next big is not giving you any points.
He's literally a fully contingent player.
And if he does, it's like, oh, he's giving you elite points where like your 3rd big that's now on your bench like could have given you like 20 less. Like, okay. I don't know.
Right.
Because I would just say, surely we didn't just take a fucking big that plays less games than Kawhi Leonard and Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah, I mean, AD and Porzingis are not the beacons of health either.
No, they're probably less beacons of health than Kawhi Leonard. And if you just want to go total games played in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That
I will say, because of the AD and Kristaps, then that definitely like brings the 3rd big into play. Given those two, like that's facts. That's facts. But if you take a big 2nd and 3rd round and like you don't tell me who the names are, like 99 times out of 100, I am not taking a 3rd big. It just it's too much capital to not be in your starting lineup.
Okay, so I think if we add another big to this team, that big will be in the 16th round.
Something like that.
Yeah, like 15 or 16 if we happen to do so. Newbie's boy Scotty Barnes goes there. Some of the wing names that you guys are gravitating toward right now. Numi said he liked the ADP of Barnes. Whom else were you guys kind of looking at there?
His teammate OG.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Love OG.
OG's right there.
I think Numi mentioned Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant is like, you can throw him in that Scoot Henderson conversation where once Like Lillard is gone. That's happening. That is 100% happening. He is gone. And Jeremy Grant will get so much usage once that takes place. He's I mean, 77 isn't like dirt cheap, but he's gonna move up once Lillard gets dealt. Like that's just the facts.
Mm-hmm.
And him going behind Brandon Miller right now seems pretty bad.
Okay. I'll throw a couple other ones in there. I like Aaron Gordon. I like Cam Johnson. I like Cam Johnson a lot, to be honest. I really like Bruce Brown. Going pace up spot there with Indiana might be more of a focal point. And then the late ones I like Danny Avdia, Tari Eason were two guys that I've been clicking on, and then the wild card of Kelly Oubre of like where could he wind up? Yeah, and then late the slow-mo one. I thought slow-mo was mispriced at the start there.
Mm-hmm.
Neumy, any other wings that you like or ones that were going earlier in the draft that I can't click on now?
I mean, yeah, no, you named Scotty Barnes. I think I like Kuzma as well. Getting rid of Beal,
Kuzma, nice
Beal specifically there. I think Franz Wagner is just an underrated player, and I really like Wagner as well. Keegan Murray, 3rd-year jump. Like that a lot. Just trying to like look at some of these guys here. The Cam Johnson's interesting because you don't know what he's going to get, but if he's going to be that second focal point on that Nets offense, you know, I mean, it's the production could be there, like the usage and the production could be there, so that's interesting.
I think he'll be 4th.
Yeah, I mean, with Dinwiddie there. I mean,
and Claxton.
It's just better to be 4th on that team than be 3rd on 4th or 3rd on a team that has actual superstars. You know what I mean?
I like it.
And then I also like Trey Murphy as well for the Pelicans, sitting at 145.
Okay, yeah, a big guy who can get wet from 3.
Stock upside as well for that play. So
yeah, nice. I like CJ here and I like OG here, and I think I'd prefer to take CJ first. We find ourselves in a really nice pocket of bigs with a discount right now, and we don't really need them.
Mm-hmm. We absolutely don't.
I would take OG just because this guy has 4 guards.
This guy, based on
good shout, mm-hmm. Good shout.
And then watch him take 2 more guards. So I don't know, but just the way, you know, if we're doing the draft board and all that, yeah, definitely that. And then hopefully we can just get our guards to fall into our lap.
Bosnian dude going with the boomer build of just puking green right off the start there. 4 running back start.
Oh, he goes Scoot.
Yeah, wow. So I definitely don't hate the CJ play here as well, or like I don't hate that at all.
Yep. I like CJ more than J-Dub right now. Jalen Green, just there's no stock floor whatsoever. Jalen Green's like a fun piece just in general to be like, yeah, this guy could fill it up. But we saw it all last year that it's just kind of like, dude, he's giving you nothing in stocks, and he just sometimes goes out there and goes 2 for 12, and he doesn't even score in a week for you.
Yeah, man. Seeing Walker Kessler there, I was just like, oh, I really wish we only had one big.
Yeah, same. The zinger one might have killed us there. We could have done. Okay, let's think this through. Instead of taking Zinger here, if we take Kawhi first, we could have done like any one of these guys: Ingram, DeMar DeRozan, George, Jimmy buckets there. Go double wing there. Then we end up with. We probably don't take OG if that happens. We probably take Walker Kessler first or Sengun there, and then you have your decision here of CJ McCollum or OG if he doesn't take OG.
Yeah, my pick would have been instead of Zinger. I'm all over him. That's just I like DeJounte. I like DeJounte a lot.
Okay.
At that guard position, I think he's one of my favorite just pieces there. Stock upside, and like you said, that could be even more fast paced, which could serve him well. So I like his price a lot. That's someone I have on all of my teams. When I was looking at that, he's the one guy that I have 100% exposure to.
Wow,
nice, cool.
Yeah, there's definitely I think a tier break where he goes for guard, right? Like after him at guard, it starts with Garland, Beal, Bane, and Levine. Murray feels definitively better than that group.
I mean, Murray feels better than Kyrie to me.
Yes. Better than Cade too, personally.
Yeah, Cade's very interesting because I got into the basketball streets after Cade was hurt. So I don't really know much about Cade. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I mean, he's got all the
Cade
potential in the world, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's really good.
Yeah, there's nothing to say really about Cade, except, I just would rather have in this format right now, DeJounte. And like, I don't know, like Donovan Mitchell is interesting too, just because to me, it's an everyone eats offense. Like he still puts up the scores. Don't get me wrong. Like it's no hate there. It's just that is a really everyone eats offense. And then I don't know if they lost anyone, but they added Strus. So
I don't think they lost anybody.
Yeah, so they just kind of added pieces in there. Which just don't get me wrong, I'm not scared.
R.I.P. Jaden Ivey, man.
And they play really slow as well. I can't see myself getting a ton of Donovan Mitchell.
Jaden Ivey.
Oh, I was talking about the other team. I was still talking about Cade.
Oh yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
In my mind, I was still thinking about Detroit. Sorry.
No, you're good. But yeah, it's just interesting. There's a lot of there's fun spots in this.
Top stat saying that Bosnian dude started 3 bigs last draft, so he's clearly diversifying his portfolio early.
This dude's a loose cannon.
This he's liable to do anything.
Maybe a fun thing to do, just like getting overweight at different positions throughout your portfolio, seeing how things shape out. Maybe you can catch lightning in a bottle with one of your punt builds, but not something that I will be doing often. But you never know.
Yeah, man, Keegan Murray going at 69 ahead of DeAndre Ayton just feels like so weird to me, and above Jalen Williams. Like it's probably a position. It's probably a positional thing. And but he played well in the postseason. He played quite well in the postseason, kind of had that like breakout emergence. It feels like, here's the comp. Got it. Keegan Murray, Randy Arozarena breaks out in the postseason that one year, still eligible for Rookie of the Year the following year. How much time did Keegan Murray miss last year?
I'm unsure.
He played 80 games of 82, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, 80 of,
so he was
80
there.
Of 82.
He just wasn't a huge portion of the rotation early in the year.
Yeah, it's tough when you have Sabonis and Fox.
Sabonis and Fox, like 90% of the usage.
Only a 15% usage. Just looking.
Kings are going to be good again, man.
Yeah, for sure. They still have Davion Mitchell, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hope so.
And they still have
Malik Monk,
your boy, Red Rocket, Kevin Huerter.
What? Kevin Huerter's there? Yeah, okay.
And they added. They traded for the Indiana guard.
Duarte, yeah.
Duarte, yep. There you go.
Oh, good Canadian kid, Chris Duarte.
Yes, right.
But I mean, that's just a influx of kind of like mid guards and Mitchell, Huerter, Monk, Duarte. Like they're just all kind of.
No, go ahead.
They all just seem the same to me. Which one? Not the same, but like they have different profiles. They definitely blend for a team's sake. But in terms of what are they going to give you, yeah, I don't know. I would always just opt towards the guy that gets more stocks if it's possible.
Yeah. What do we think about Boston with Marcus Smart leaving? Like, does that open anything up?
It helps White and Brogdon, you would think.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but like that latest news blurb on Brogdon is so weird and ominous.
Guys, why is Wiggins still here? Why
That's
Wiggins?
Because they wanted us to have him.
Yeah, I mean, I get it with Wiggins. Actually, I don't know. Let me check out.
He was phenomenal in the postseason.
Yeah, and everything that he's done is, he's been perfectly fine. He's basically been the staple of playing games as well. So besides that mental health break or whatever
issue,
the issue that he left for, was really hoping for Bridges there.
So you like the other Bridges as well? Right here, I've been clicking Dinwiddie. I like.
Yeah,
Dinwiddie.
Go ahead and cue him up. He's definitely my pick at the moment. Yeah,
I don't know what that.
I don't really want RJ. Klay Thompson is only points. Chris Paul being in a new situation is weird. Amon Thompson
Paul
is
might get
like
traded,
exciting.
man.
I was gonna say Chris Paul might not even be a Warrior, which is kind of
Yeah.
He might get traded, really.
Well,
I
just the way
mean-
the contracts work out and shit like that.
I mean,
that
didn't they just trade for him?
for him, yeah.
yeah, but I don't even know if he. Yeah, because wasn't there there was something I was looking at. Here, I'll see if I can find it. But yeah, I heard that as well.
Weird.
Yeah, here. Yeah, why is Wiggins plummeting? I was asking the same thing.
Because they wanted us to have him. Because now our team is sick.
Yeah. Peyton Pritchard season. Yeah, Clay saying it was IKB, needed wings. High on the Kings in general. I think Murray takes a massive jump this year. I mean, Nez was our resident Murray stan for a bit there.
Oh yeah. Pick 36 on every team.
Chad saying Brogdon was originally part of the Zinger trade until he failed a portion of the physical or the
Look him up
doctor's
and look at
review or
his note.
something. It's interesting. Whose note?
play-
Sorry.
Brogdon.
Okay. Health issues so significant that he's unlikely to be traded short term.
And that's from Windhorse, dude. Brian's a great reporter. Like he does like when it's from
Yeah, he was-
Windhorse's mouth to God's ears.
He was supposed
Like,
to be in the Clippers.
very
He was
interesting.
basically supposed to go to the Clippers.
Well, that
in
makes me
2
kind of
team
like
trade.
Derek White then, no? We talk about the stock floor. We talk about a guy who can shoot
You're right.
it.
I mean, that's an easy pivot, right?
Yeah. That kind of makes me like Derek White's ADP.
What if the Oregon guy himself steps into a role never seen before? And wait, Oregon, right? Yeah, wasn't Peyton Pritchard from Oregon? Maybe I'm dumb here, but Peyton Pritchard steps into that role there and starts just getting more and more time.
Oh man. I
don't Pritchard. I don't hate him as an undrafted guy.
The other one I was thinking about who's going really late right now, who's kind of all part of that, Celtics conversation is Grant Williams. I've taken Grant Williams with my last pick twice now.
He's a Maverick, right?
That's my point. Yeah. Like now he's stepping into playing time. No,
Yeah.
he's just part of that whole circle of
news
and trades and whatever. Yeah. I kind of like that.
Basically, he's going to do everything that Christian Wood couldn't for their team.
In theory, yeah. Yeah, they
It's
were
like
so
a
sick of
complete-
Christian Wood's defense that they went and got Grant Williams.
Like who's like the exact opposite of Christian Wood? Like, okay, I want that guy.
Yeah, that's
We need him.
really good. Oh man, they're like, we saw what Christian Wood had, and it wasn't anything.
Interesting. Chad bringing up the Tatum assist rate up. Yeah.
That's true.
You won't be
a good
taking
one,
Grant
too.
Williams at 178 chip. That's too rich of a price for you.
TA, I caught this too, and I just didn't say anything. I bit my tongue on that one, and I was like, he's like, yeah, Brian and me. Yeah,
Bro,
look at Brian and I go back to college.
No, y'all don't fuck with Brian. If I say Brian, you already know who I'm talking about. It's either Scalabrini or Windhorse, and just use your context.
It's either Scallop.
Yeah, it couldn't possibly be Brian Reynolds, who you won't shut the fuck up about.
I haven't talked about Brian Reynolds in months. Only time I talk about it is to complain about how much he sucks.
That's facts. That's facts. He doesn't.
I've got
talk
my
about
guys,
Brian
but I
Reynolds
keep
anymore.
it to myself.
The only thing on Nezzy's mind is JP Sears lately.
JP
yeah.
Sears, man.
No ADP, by the way, today.
Oh, wow. Don't tempt me.
In the Coliseum? Come on.
Have you ever heard about Kyle
Um,
Tucker wearing batting gloves? That boy's about to take him yak twice, lefty. Anyway.
This is a range of the draft guys where I've just been kind of scrolling and being like IKB, the ADPs are awful, and just getting positions I need here. I've been scrolling down right now to Bruce Brown.
What is he,
Any
a
names
wing?
you guys like there? Yeah, he's a wing.
How far down is he?
Just one little right there.
Okay.
You guys like anybody
Yeah,
else in this range?
I don't hate that. Yeah, take Brown. We have 5.
I'm okay with it. Yeah, I mean, like he's joining a Pacers squad that isn't, it's not like he's competing with a lot of other guys there. And hey, we got the stack with Halliburton. So if they're in
There
like a
we
lot of
go.
good spots together, like I think that can make sense if they're in both
Our
both in good
Pacers,
game
just
environments.
like our Lions, baby.
And I have a suggestion depending on what happens here.
Wow, I thought Kevin Porter Jr. would come back when he already had 5 guards. I know you love Kevin Porter Jr. always.
Oh, yeah. What do you think about Cole Anthony or Shaedon Sharpe is probably who I would take here.
Cole Anthony feels like a guy who could get squeezed.
By who?
I don't know, just like Suggs and shit like that. Markelle Fultz. Who's the other one? Name another name, boys.
Sharpe.
Shaedon Sharpe? Okay, let's do the Sharpe thing. All right. You guys were kind of in lockstep in Sharpe. 3rd-year breakout when Dame leaves.
Yeah, easy narrative.
Easy narrative street. Hey, Benedict Mathurin just staring us in the face there. This is a great year for Canadian former Pacers and current Pacers.
Is it the year of Indiana?
They must have
it's because they traded Chris Duarte. He's going to step into playing time over there. And then what does that do? It frees up a little more playing time for our boy Benedict Mathurin there. Another Canadian boy.
Those are great points.
Just to point out, I think Underdog has college stats in here.
I don't know. I thought those are projections.
They just screwed up on, they double listed it. So like certain guys, they double listed years if they're a 3rd-year player. It's weird. So Harrison Barnes.
Shaedon Sharpe's going to be a 2nd-year player. And he had 2 years already on there. So that's why I'm like.
Well, I think those I don't know what the 2023 stats are because
it might just be a projected line.
That's what I'm wondering. Let me look up.
Okay, here, let's see. Well, let's see. Sharpe says a projection of 936.3. When you open it up, no, it says 799. So I don't know. But yes, I've noticed the same thing too, Neumy, that like certain players have like double stat lines. Like Wiggins has the exact same stat line twice for 2023 and 2022. There's something funky going on the back end with the combination of projections and whatever. We should probably bring it to somebody's attention, to be honest.
Yeah. So this one, for anyone looking at the Underdog stats as your draft for some reason, just to know that they are a little broken right now.
Yeah. So with Shaedon Sharpe, like his, I think 2023, those are just projections.
Yeah, see, I don't think they are because they're the exact same as 2022 for every player.
No, they're not. Look at Shaedon Sharpe.
Oh. Okay.
Like that 22, okay. Like that those are his real 22 stats.
Right. But I don't think it's projection because it doesn't line up with the total number. That's what I was saying. So when you look up Sharpe, and their projection is 9363, and then when you click on it, it's 7995. So I was like, oh, that's not a projection. But I don't know.
Well, 2023 line, I guess moral of the story can be ignored for now.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, we kind of just ignore it in general. So
yeah, it's not for us.
Who are some other guys you guys think push up in this scoring format?
I hate to say it, but Jonathan Isaac.
Oh yeah, naughty boy. Yeah.
Come on, man. I need to have an answer too.
All right, retract.
I'm kidding. I'm joking. Go. I want to hear your bull case on Jonathan.
Well, I mean, I go and I look at I'm looking at basically defense and steals per game, and I know it's 11. But my man is 100th percentile, leading the league in 5.5 steals per game, 84th percentile in blocks. So it would be foolish of me to come out here and trash Jonathan Isaac for the upside that he's going to give you at that price. I keep talking about stocks. So I think that's definitely someone that if he gets more minutes, if he does squeeze people in that rotation, it's Orlando. There are a lot of young guys they're working out. Like if he's going to be playing the way they expect him to. I like that that price a lot.
Let's just like imagine this for a moment. If Jonathan Isaac by mid-season he's playing full allotment of minutes, this Magic team is going to be good, legit good. if Jonathan Isaac is healthy by game 42. This Magic team's gonna
Oh,
be
they got
pretty
Joe
dangerous.
Ingles? That's lame. Just there to freaking be a cuck, huh?
Yeah. Veteran leadership, veteran presence. I've heard some really nice things about Franz so far this year too.
Yeah, man.
I
Franz is
like
good.
Franz a lot. Yeah.
Bancaro is legit. Wendell Carter Jr. is good. This team they've got something cooking. They just need like Jonathan Isaac to actually return to form and stay healthy. And they should probably throw all their chips in for one more player if they could. But
this is interesting. Did not know he went to Toronto. Jalen McDaniels. Jalen McDaniels, not Jaden, but Jalen McDaniels, as we're up here, is absolutely buried as well.
Brandon Clark, good Canadian kid.
Denny's fun.
Denny?
Yeah, Denny's a click of mine.
Yeah, I like Denny too. We just talked about how bad the
Are you
Brogdon
taking
stuff.
Yeah, let's do that. I like these guards here, but if Boz dude's gonna take another guard here, then God effing speed.
Right. Yeah.
But
I mean, if you
really,
go
really
like just
upsetting.
from a roster construction standpoint, if you spend this much capital on guard, I'm probably just shutting it down, right? Like,
I think he is, thankfully. What about Gary Trent?
No, I mean at like 5. I'm shutting it down at 5. You think Gary Trent Jr. steps into minutes without Fred VanVleet?
What do the wings look like right here, though?
Brandon Clark. I like Tari Eason. Kelly Oubre.
It's interesting. I don't know if we need a guard here is my only thought, but yeah, I guess we can go Trent.
I only have 4.
There's just a lot of there's way more guards I like in the back end that I think you can add in, and they be basically what John was saying in terms of your I mean, we'll put it into DFS. Your 4.5, your 4 to 5 or 3.5 to 4.5K guy that's stepping into a role that's for a couple games that all of a sudden smashes. There's a lot more of those guys in the that I see in guard than I do wing, unless I'm just not identifying them.
Yeah,
I mean Trent's without VanVleet is really solid.
Yeah, I totally fine with Trent. So
Trent started a lot last year too, even when Fred was there. It's just the usage didn't couple with the amount in which he started, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's perfect though. I mean, he lines up to be he's good in nice stocks. I mean, he still had a 21% usage on that team, which is pretty impressive. And I'm just under the assumption that if Siakam kind of gets traded, and that just opens up the whole, that opens up everything for Toronto. That's why I'm really like Nez on OG and on Scotty Barnes.
OG and Trent. Yeah,
because they're fairly priced even if Siakam stays.
Schroeder,
Schroeder's going to be the starting point guard for that team. So.
I think one thing I've been focusing on late in the drafts is finding potential high usage guys on bad teams, like the complete opposite of the playoff contest. Well, I mean, like I've been scrolling down for like Denny Avi as a perfect example of that, where it's like I think his usage is going to be through the roof. I'm going to take him on a bad team over like this entire tier right here. I've been shooting the moon on the Kelly Oubre one. Let me keep scrolling.
I mean, you can pretty much just say Washington Wizards and insert everybody into who bad team, good player for our format. It's the entire Wizards team.
Yeah. I was gonna say like the thing I'm kind of like, who is this year's Jaden Ivey in these like late rounds, where like late in the season everybody was out, the rotation is like depleted, and he's the guy who's just like relevant for our daily contests every single time for like a month stretch, you know?
Yeah, that's a good shout. Ivy. Yeah.
I don't think it's Ivy this year, but like who is that Ivy this year? Like, you know what I mean? Because I think there's way more guys there this year than there were last year late because everybody's healthy again. I don't think Jaden Ivey would have been a thing if everybody was healthy. I mean, he would have been
So like, who?
part
I
of
mean,
it, but the usage wouldn't.
Basically, like a contingency value darling.
Right. Like that's why I've been taking TJ McConnell late.
Right.
Could it? Hold on, let me check his ADP. Oh, it's pretty high. Never mind. I was gonna say Colin Sexton.
Tyson Daniels.
Who? Tyson Daniels is interesting. That team could blow it up, and he could definitely get run. I mean, they already thought about blowing it up at one point with what they had, but and that team has a lot of injury-prone guys as well. So
Tyson Daniels is beyond me.
Yeah, well, I mean, like last year in the games where guys missed time or like CJ missed time and stuff like that, we were playing a ton of Jose Alvarado because of the stocks and the fantasy point per minute upside right there. So if Tyson Daniels is anything like that, that kind of makes sense as a shout too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. I do a little depth chart deep dive here.
I'm gonna say something, and that's only because if these Mavericks are really that bad. But there's another guy that's really young that could step into it. Nez is near and dear to Nez's heart. Last year, I don't know if Nez, you can guess it.
Oh, Hardy boy.
Oh, Jaden Hardy.
Yeah.
Could definitely be a guy that just steps in and just fires it.
I mean, like, talk about like second rotation. I mean, like, that's points off the bench at least. You know, and then if Kyrie's out at all.
Did Evan Fournier die?
I mean, I hope not.
But because I haven't heard anything.
I hope he's doing okay.
Like, because
I mean, even if I don't.
No. Sorry, I just saw. I was like looking. I was scrolling through names here. I saw Evan Fournier.
You just want people to Google his last name? Like, don't do that. Don't Google his last name. If you
Malik Monk, there's a good one.
It's like a gross disease. I think you just wanted people to look up for
it. I did not know that. So thank you for telling me.
I guess to know that.
Yeah, and also there's just no reason to take him
I just literally saw him. I was scrolling through ADP on my screen, and I
just saying whatever comes to mind.
Guys, I think we could add a third big now. And I think we could do something that's like almost contingency on Zinger and do like Time Lord, or we could shoot the moon on like Gafford, or if there's another name you prefer here. Sadiq Bey played well last year.
I would prefer Sadiq Bey.
Okay.
Just because I look at
another
Atlanta,
one with
and like
John Collins
I don't see
leaving.
Yeah, and I just don't see a lot there outside of Trey and DeJounte.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way as this. Like these part-time guys, it's like you're threading the needle.
So like, I would say Herb Jones, but if you want to go big here, like this is probably like the last chance to get a third big. So, I will leave that for you to decide. But if you don't go big, I would say Herb Jones.
Okay.
Anyway. Hello. There's 1 second left. No one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking. I mean,
I was just gonna let him think. I didn't want to.
I think this is gonna be a 7-7-2 now. I think we just made that decision right now because I don't think we're strong enough at guard to only play 6 on this. Like we got Hallie, CJ, Dimwitty, Sharp, and Gary Trent Jr. I think we need to add two guards to this and shoot the moon on being super thin at big with just Porzingis and Davis, which is kind of a scary thought, but I think this has to be like the hyper fragile of bigs.
You know what they say, man. What do you win when you win?
Right, exactly.
And like, I don't know how many people would pair those two and just like assume that it's fine. I mean, Kristaps missed games last year, but he played 65 games. You know, he wasn't like perpetually injured.
And then that was a classic, like, hey, we have nothing to play for at the end of the year 2 shutdown.
Right. Right.
Years
like,
before that, 51, 43, 57, 48, 66.
Yeah. Unicorn, baby.
I know. Yeah, he's been hurt, but I mean, he played 65 games last year.
Zinger, you're already hyper fragile. That's a good one, Chad. That's very good.
Yeah.
Oh man. Orlando's gonna blow balls again.
That's a sick
They didn't
bet.
even blow balls last year. They just weren't good. But they didn't blow balls.
Yeah, Clay brings up one. I know we hate him, but Brooks going this late's kind of wild. Like he got the bag. Like he got the same amount of money as Pirtle. That team needs guys to play. Like just flat out needs guys to play.
Are the Rockets like trying?
I don't know. I don't think so.
It's
I mean,
weird, right? Because they made two big signings.
Green. Yeah, Sengun, Green, Eason doesn't feel like a contending trio, but it does feel like you could maybe be competitive enough to get to a play-in game when you add like a 3-and-D guy there with Brooks.
They just made the whole team out of like point
Cast
scorers.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like if you look just at their underdog positions,
yeah,
they have literally two bigs. That's it. Do you know who the other one is? He was a darling for us in the playoff battle royales.
I just pulled him up, so I do know now.
Shit.
But yeah, that's a good shout. Oh, Kevin Porter Jr. Yeah, shit, I forgot about that. Yeah, and then Fred VanVleet, obviously. So yeah, I mean, like that initial trio, you add Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks too.
Yes, it's weird.
It's
interesting. Jabari?
Yeah.
It's like 60? Oh, 74.
70.
Whoa. That's fair.
I mean, last year we were playing like flip a coin in the battle royales on a given night between Jabari and Tari Eason. And you remember, it's just living rent free in my head that like Tari Eason went on that kind of 2-week stretch where he just put up like 40 every night and he was the sixth rounder you needed. It's fucking living rent free in my head. I have Tari Eason disease.
I love it. I love it.
But now that I look at the depth chart, I don't necessarily think it's as clean as I originally thought it was.
No, it's crowded, but it's like it could just be like you guys are here, but Jabari Smith is still, or if you were still talking about Jabari, that it could still be to elevate him.
Leader in the clubhouse.
What about Caruso?
Blah.
I feel like Caruso, if he's healthy, he just wasn't healthy a lot last year. I don't know. He's got a big floor.
Even if he was healthy, we're not looking for condoms on a roster with two bigs on like this. Like Caruso how many times would he play Caruso in a daily contest last year? Even if everyone was out, 0.
Yeah.
Caruso was never drafted, not one time. Like I think about that a lot. Like where are we going to find these like spike weeks or these like fill in volume? Like putting TJ McConnell on this team as like insurance over like Howley and just being like a fantasy point per minute dude feels like good to me too.
Let's do that then.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't see this as being bad or wrong.
Like he's a monster when he gets the run, and then you kind of like handcuff it's kind of putting a condom on your guard position, but when you're doing it with 7, it kind of makes a little bit of sense.
I think you raise the floor, you raise the cash potential of this team. You know, I don't see anything necessarily wrong with that. Like if Halliburton's out, but he's playing super well and like putting us in a position to like cash big, you know, McConnell just kind of helps soften that blow until he gets, you know, just playing out that scenario. Like it's not, I think it makes sense. Like I offered Alex Caruso, you know, like, and the paths for Alex Caruso, like that's just the guys that we're talking about here. So I think McConnell makes a lot of sense. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. All right. That makes me feel better. That was fun. Top stat NFT took Grady Dick.
Oh, dude.
That guy is literally just a walking meme. He's literally from the 70s. He's like Rick Roll in real life. That's who that dude is. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
of course, Rick Astley. Of course, I know what you mean.
like he literally looks like Rick Astley too.
Yeah.
He definitely went. Did Cason Wallace get taken?
I don't know. Jason Wallace did not get taken. Not as clean a path to playing time, I don't think. But
no,
know.
and not an offensive monster, but real life, I'm just I'm excited for what he can do there.
Lofton, interesting.
Yeah, big boy.
I was gonna say, is Kenny Lofton the old
big boy?
Yeah, he's plump.
Plump is the word.
That's
for sure.
This is random, but I used to work with a guy sat next to me, and he was like 50 something, total degenerate, loved to drink at work and stuff, but he was also like a big boy, right?
Yeah,
dude, they didn't care. He would have like 2 shooters of tequila like right on his desk. They'd be like, oh yeah, that's James, that's what he does. And he used to say that like everyone's like, wow, you don't look 50. He's like, yeah, because I'm so fat it irons out the wrinkles.
That's so good.
He had no wrinkles on his face. So it was funny. I just reminiscent of Ken Lofton. No relation to Ken Lofton of MLB, unfortunately. I don't think.
No. Yeah, there's a couple guys I need to learn about here. I've seen Johnny Davis. Okay, I've seen Johnny Davis's name mentioned a few times in that Washington one. And this Balil, I don't know how to say his name.
Call a baby.
How is it?
Call a baby.
Call a baby.
Tell me about
Tell me about him.
He was drafted. Yeah. He got drafted with really high capital. They took him 7th overall and was traded to the Wizards there. And he played on the same team as Wemby. And they really like his upside. And he's stepping into a Wizards team that is pretty much Barrett, nobody there right now outside of Poole and Kuzma. So Call Me Maybe could really end up becoming a nice player in this contest.
I like
my favorite Wizard late is DeLon Wright.
Oh,
good
yeah,
one too. There's
forever attached to DeLon Wright.
That's a good one. Chad asking about Steven Adams. Steven Adams went to Chipsy at 140 there. Man, there are some fun names to go back here. Hey, we did see Jaden Hardy go there. Suggs, who is like, I kind of like Suggs a little bit.
I like Suggs too, man. I know that he's kind of like not lived up to his hype, but if he's the starter there, I think he's got good contingency value.
Mm-hmm. Jalen Johnson, another dude who could soak up a little bit of what John Collins left behind. Cam Whitmore, I don't know shit about. I will say that.
Wasn't he the Summer League MVP?
Oh yeah,
there you go.
Right, yeah.
There you go. I don't know shit about
Villanova guy.
Yep.
Those guys always seem to just like produce and at the highest level.
We're learning here. The room's sharper than old John Boy at this point. That's for damn sure.
We're gonna be so ready for dailies. This is great dailies practice. Get to see all these insane names.
Yeah, it's literally my prep window right now. This is like, yeah.
Oh man.
I feel very, very strongly about this too. Like, if you want to talk about a guy who can just step into minutes and fill it up, like IQ as like a contingent guard, as like your 5th guard, like those dailies when Jalen was out, like IQ pushes to like 12th overall and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it'll be like an 8 game slate, and it's like, Tibbs is gonna play him 38 minutes tonight. Never take him off the floor. He's going to score 60 fantasy points. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, potentially a leap forward too, as just like an option just in general, to have standalone value potentially too.
That was fun. That was good. Yeah. Topside asking if he feels like he's light on wing. I feel like if you don't prioritize wing, in the first like 2 rounds, you're always going to feel light on wing. And the fact that you did kind of like Paulo DeRozan at like the 3-4 makes it like instantly makes it fine.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm not the biggest Thompson and RJ guy, but I really like Tari Eason, as I alluded to. Grady Dick. Yeah, I mean, maybe spending another wing pick just to shore up kind of in like the 13 to 15 range there, because you were really strong at guard with the Ant Booker start. Yeah, I mean, maybe foregoing this Mathurin pick, shoring up a wing in here, and then taking like your last dart on guard here instead of Grady Dick at wing. But I mean, that's a unique piece that could fall into playing time too, that not a lot of people will be talking about. Yeah, I mean, at least not right now. Yeah, no, I think it's totally fine. There's so many justifiable builds in this contest. The one thing, like, Bosnian dude's in like a bunch of these drafts, and he's clearly a good player, or you know, a thinking player and whatnot. I just, once I go like so heavy with these like 4 guards, I probably would have just like shut it down and then would have left Scoot. I mean, you could still take Scoot, or you could still take Kevin Porter Jr., and then I would have shut it down at like 5 for sure. When you spend that much capital, it just feels bad. Like, it's like if you start running back from the 12 and 13 spot, and you have Bijan and Nick Chubb, like the last thing I want to do is spend my 3rd and 4th pick on running back, and then all of a sudden spend my 7th and 8th picks on running back as well, right? I don't know if that's a good comp, but yeah.
No, I'm with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's hit Clay's team, and then let's get the F out of here. John Boy has got a tea time.
Oh, shocker.
Yeah, dude, I'll send you guys a little pic. This is a fucking course today. I'm not gonna lie.
What is it? Just like what PGA rated? Like can only assume it's absolutely insane.
It's beautiful. It's like a resort that people go to for the golf course. And it's not the best course in the world, but it's like a really fun course. It's a really well-designed course, and it just has every single hole just has like views. Like the views are insane.
Good for you, man.
All right. Let's see what Clay did. Clay did 4 bigs despite starting with Joel Embiid, but he did go ahead and take those 4 in the last, or he took 3 in his last 5 picks. So let's see if you guys can grade this one out.
Okay.
Embiid, Fox, the Spider, Jordan Poole, Kuzma. I like this Poole Kuzma little mini in there. Keegan Murray, Michael Porter Jr. Dude, did he take rid of the junior? I'm knocking him down the ranks if he got rid of the junior.
Oh, that can't be right. That can't be right.
Oh no! Is there a new Michael Porter in town?
No.
Is this the mature Michael Porter?
He was Michael Porter last. He didn't have the junior, did he?
Oh, geez. No wonder.
I thought
like he was like
in
terms of the underdog. I don't think he had the junior on it. He's still junior, but I don't think he had the junior on underdog.
Oof. Yeah, you gotta adjust our ranks.
All right, Austin Reeves, Cam Johnson, Josh Hart, Trey Murphy. Wow, he's playing right. Clay's playing right into my heart here until he took Josh Hart. I like all these players except for Josh Hart. I don't like Josh Hart. Bobby Portis, Dylan Brooks, Time Lord, Beef Stew, and then Luke Kennard to finish. Luke Kennard, sneaky contingent usage there if John misses 25 or more. What do you guys think about Clay's team?
I like it. I like the idea that he did it big. I think what was the position that he kind of punted? The wings were like guards are obviously like extremely strong. I like it. I think the only thing you could poke holes in right now is like the wing position. Like who's going to be that second wing for him? Is that second wing going to give him enough points along with Kuzma? But otherwise, like I like the guys that he is like taking shots on to be his W2. But guards are obviously loaded there, and get Joel Embiid top 2 big there. So. Yeah, no, I like it. This is structurally, I really like it.
Yeah, it's a lot of the guys that I'd be taking. I like it. I like that Trey Murphy pick. I'm okay with Josh Hart. It's a meh pick, but I mean, I get it. I get it, and I like that team a lot.
It's a usable weeks pick. You know.
Yeah.
Good point.
You know what I mean? Like it's like if he falls into those starting minutes and Tibbs doesn't take him off the floor and he plays 35, he's got like a stock floor instantly. Like we saw it in the postseason, right? Like, yeah. But then he also did have those games where he gets foul trouble early and he is just gone for the entire game. Did Mitchell Robinson go in this contest? I imagine he went in
he's
like
at
the 150s.
100.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow. 114. Holy smokes. I did not think. I mean, that's just the stock ceiling of a guy who can, find his way to 8 blocks in a given game and break a slate, right? Cool. Yeah, fun. There's going to be a lot of fun players to talk through. I think a couple on our short list to talk through. I really want to talk through Rui. I want to talk through Jonathan Isaac a little bit. I want to talk through Brandon Clark a little bit. Potential landing spots for Kelly Oubre sounds like a fun talking point. Dylan Brooks is going to be fun to talk through. THT, there's a great contingency guard of a dude who, when Jordan Clarkson was out, we were taking him, top 3-4 rounds in the daily streets. THT is a fun one to get through.
I agree.
Anyways, fun show, guys. Glad that we could do a little NBA content. I know it might not be as popular as the football, but we got to stay true to who we are, right? Who we are as a show is if it's on Underdog, we're playing it and we're chatting it, right? Neumy did the golf yesterday. We did the hoops today. We'll be mixing in some baseball, some hockey, some whatever. Speaking of baseball, pick'em's available today. Does anyone have a lean on their favorite home run prop pitcher pick'em right now?
Yeah, I tweeted it out and quoted it, so you guys can check that out. But I like the Justin Steele higher in home runs. I think
home runs allowed.
Yeah, home runs allowed. So
yeah, you can use each of those bonuses once. By the way, it's not just like pick one and lose them all. You can build a pick'em entry out of all of those. I started with what I will say is I like Yusei Kikuchi as the lower against against the Mariners. So he's like lefty on righty. Obviously that's a little scary, but being at T-Mobile Park is going to be good for anybody that has a higher lower home run.
That's a good point.
Entry. So he's been striking out a lot of guys. So maybe they bang him up without a home run. He gets out early and then that lower cashes, it's just a home run.
Yeah. That weekend in Seattle is a fun one. First time in a long time. I'm not going to it. I just sold my Sunday tickets actually to go down there because all this fake ass contingency of pretend Blue Jays fans from Vancouver go down for that weekend, and the stadium becomes like 50-50 in Seattle. So it's like half blue, half green. Yeah, it's like a huge thing.
I did see that they pulled all the Blue Jays stuff out of the merch stores because people were pissed.
Yeah,
I like that. Like don't fuck that.
Yeah, they take over the stadium, but it's a crazy weekend in Seattle. So I'm glad I opted to do the golf trip with the boys and stuff like that. But because there's Taylor Swift for 2 nights right across the street. So I mean, you're talking 200,000 people, like 180,000 people in this same like pocket because the 2 stadiums are right beside each other. Like good luck getting an Uber and shit like that, right? Like parking's gonna be $150. But yeah, and then they have 2 other things going on. They have like some culinary festival, like for certain restaurants. So all the foodies are there as well. There's like a foodie convention. And then they have Capitol Hill, which is where kind of like their nightlife is and stuff. They're having Capitol Hill Fest this weekend as well. So there's like 4 of these crazy things. So I'm kind of like patting myself on the back for being like, yes, great. You sold your tickets and didn't go to the ball game now, but my buddies are still going down. It'll be a hell of a
I think you made the right choice,
weekend,
man. It's going to be crazy.
It'll be wild. Yeah. It'll be a lot of shit going on. Anyways, if anyone is playing MLB tonight, 11 game slate for the Friday slate. We have the Nez takes up. We have the Clubhouse up, correct?
Not yet. I'm almost done.
Okay.
I'm almost done. But yes, it is coming. You will have something.
Clubhouse is up already. Go take a look at that. Take a look at the Matrix. There's 2 pick'ems in there if you guys want to use your boosted things. Nez Takes is coming later as well. Those are all the resources you will need to play the NBA or MLB streets today. All right, old John Boy's got to hit the road here. Any parting words, gentlemen?
See you in the streets, man. Have a nice weekend, everybody.
Have a good weekend. And friend of the show, DJ Mitchell. Good luck, bud.
Oh,
he's got a sweat in the Albatross.
He is first with a 20-point lead.
Ooh, fucking
and he's
right.
He's looking to have a good skill set of guys. So your boy, you're cheering on Neumy is dead. I may finish last in all of my 6 entries. So running pure is not for this guy.
R.I.P.
Scotty, Scotty Cantlay might not make the cut. He just went to +4, and Scotty might not make the cut. So Dream is so far dead, it's not even funny. So.
Oh, that's gross. Well, hey, good luck to you.
You're not my boy DJ, and then Eagles as well. And of course, the GOAT Sam has about 10,000 entries in the top 50. So Badge Brigade will be taking it down. So good luck, fellas.
Yeah, best of luck to the Badge Brigade. All you guys, big shouts there. Hope you guys can take that one down. Winner's Circle Monday. Maybe if one of them takes down 100K. Open invite only if they see this. Winner's Circle Monday. We're bringing it back from the BR streets. All right. On behalf of Neumy, Nez, myself, we are the Badge Bros, and this is everybody's favorite time of the show. And peace. Good luck this weekend. Have a lot of fun.